Is there a difference between a semi-hollow and a solid body? This is IkeGuitar. Let's dive in. Guys, what is going on? IkeGuitar here. Super excited to share with you another guitar video. This one is near and dear to my heart. As you guys know, a few weeks ago, a little bit ago, I got a Eric Johnson Thinline Stratocaster in vintage white. It's a really cool guitar, part of my trading game. Now guys, I've really enjoyed playing this guitar, but one question has been bugging me for a while, and it's that, is there really a huge difference between a semi-hollow guitar and a solid body equivalent? And it's kind of hard to tell. You have the ES335s and some semi-hollow Gretsches, but there really is no direct comparison to a guitar of similar build. Well, I've actually got two Stratocasters, this EJ Thinline, and a solid body guitar that I've got from Bluesman Vintage. We're going to compare how these guitars sound. Alright, so let's talk about the gear I'm using and how I'm using it. So the first guitar is going to be my Bluesman Vintage Sedan. Something you gotta know about this guitar, it's pretty much as close as you can get to a modern early 60s Strat. They're made to spec with Bluesman Vintage. And the pickups I have here are the Vintage 60s Hots by Lindy Fralin. I got this running into a pedal board with some boost, and it'll be some chorus as well, but also be aware the guitar amp is going to be a Tyler JT14, very similar to a Princeton. I'm using a real amp today because I want to try to get as much of the fullness of the guitar as I can. Without further ado, why don't we begin with our neck pickup, position number 1. We are now going to move into our third position. Okay, and now we're going to go to our bridge position pickup. It's gonna get real spicy. Alright, so the sounds I get out of this guitar are pretty standard Strat sounds. I've got the chime of the bridge pickup, I've got that fullness in the neck pickup, and there's nothing I can say except it just sounds just like an early 60s Strat to me. Alright, so this is going to be the Eric Johnson Thinline Stratocaster. Some things to keep in mind is going to be a little different than the Bluesman Vintage in the fact that it is completely semi-hollow except for a center block running through to the bridge plate. It is going to be a maple neck and a maple fingerboard, and these pickups are actually voiced specifically for Eric Johnson, so you are going to hear some differences between the two pickup-wise. But what we're really going to look for here is how this center block and the semi-hollow cavity affect the sound of the guitar. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, or maybe not surprised, at how this guitar really sounds. Let's go for it. Alright, here's going to be our first position, of course, the neck position. All right, here's position number 3. All right, now position number 5, we're gonna be our bridge pickup here. All right, let's gather our notes. Let's talk about the differences, okay? So first off, the differences weren't really super apparent to me. It's kind of, I mean, I can definitely tell in the way that it feels and some of the sound qualities that the Thinline is totally different than the Solidbody, but overall, it's not a huge difference. Did I expect that? I mean, I think so. Generally, it's the same shape as a Stratocaster is, just with a center block and it's hollowed out. There's not a whole lot of resonance going on in a guitar that small. I can see it happening with maybe an ES335 where the body is significantly bigger, but for this particular Strat Thinline model, the differences are pretty minute. I definitely can tell as far as pickups are concerned that there is definitely a difference in between the vintage 60s of my Bluesman vintage pickup and the Shaw custom type EJs voiced for Eric Johnson that were on the EJ Thinline. So I will say though, I do really love the feel of the Thinline over my Bluesman vintage. It's actually kind of funny. Actually, the guitar feels and plays a little bit different. And I think that was expected. Obviously, we have different tone woods for each guitar, but that EJ Thinline just feels so great underneath the hands, and I think coupled with the slight variation in tonal qualities, kind of make that my favorite of the two. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. Guys, it was a ton of fun doing a comparison video between a Solidbody Strat and a Thinline semi-hollow Strat. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I make videos all the time. You're not going to miss a single episode. And guys, if you have experience with semi-hollow guitars, I want to know about it in the comments below. Did you hear a big difference? I sure didn't. If you did, I want to know what you heard. Let me know down below. Looking forward to seeing you guys next time on another episode of IkeGuitar.